Oh, and welcome to Moonrise. This is Dave Johnson channeling the man in the moon. Today, I'm going to take a look at two political topics. The first one is the debt ceiling. What's going to happen? It looks like they kind of had a deal. Maybe they don't have a deal. Nobody seems particularly happy with this deal, but it is something. I'm wondering what Biden's going to do. And the second question is about Trump. It looks like that Fani Willis case is really heating up. I'm wondering if she isn't going to start doing some, fun stuff. Let's take a look. Starting with the debt ceiling. Okay, I'm seeing a pretty confident Biden. It's kind of like he's on a reasonable treadmill, walking a reasonable pace, but next to him are all the Republicans in a sort of gerbil cage as they spin around, spin around, spin around, and it's a complicated global cage, so they're working against each other. It really couldn't be better for Biden. He's smiling from ear to ear. And I do have to note, everybody, we all think Biden's a fuddy-duddy and all that stuff. He's not very glamorous, but this guy has got more experience than a lot of people. And in a way, it's like, it does go to show, we're all thinking those people in DC are sitting around and doing nothing, but he has been around the block. So he's the right guy. Oh, and you know what he's doing? He's like pulling out this thing out of his pocket, like, hey, I got it in my pocket. And I think that's he's got one of the amendments he can use and just pay it off. He can just, by the snap of his fingers, he can take care of it. So they don't usually like to do that because it's like pulling, something out at the last minute. But it's becoming serious. This is going to affect our economy in a very few days if it's not taken care of. And even now, the Republicans can't organize themselves around one package. So Biden's like, well, what have I got to lose? I've got everything to gain. And he's like, it's essential. I have to save the economy. I will have to use this trick, which will render the Republicans mute. There's nothing that they couldn't get their stuff together. Even what their McCarthy pulled out, they couldn't do. So it's a big win for Biden. And here's Biden. It's like he's like walking almost on a piano, and he's like ding, 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 ding. It's like making this kind of funny rhythm. The piano goes on for a while. I'm looking at all the keys. Oh, and then he goes to one key and it's like one note. Burr, 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 burr. It's like, oh, and the keys, it's almost like walking a distance. And he's getting close to the last key and he's got one note over and over again. Da, 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 da. It's nothing complicated. All he needs to do is pull out the amendment. Gosh, is it the Fourth Amendment? I think it's the fourth. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe in the comments below. But I know he has this power. Oh, he's got an envelope. He's licking the envelope, and he put money in the envelope. Now all I have to do is just give the money to Bob, and we're ready to go. Jill Biden's there, interestingly enough. She's completely jazzed. She's totally happy. This is actually even better because there were some things in the compromise that, progressives like AOC did not like. There was another oil deal in there that nobody liked on the left. And, he was going to give those things as a concession. But now it's like, hey, I'm going to have to do that. I don't have to give anything up. I gave it up and still I didn't give it up. AOC's, well, kind of nonplussed, but she's happier than if the deal went through. Now she's actually starting to smile and thinking, he's no dum-dum, he did better than I thought. Okay, good. And for some reason, Katie Porter's giving me thumbs up. I really like Katie Porter, so maybe that's why. I think she's the most awesome person. She should be president and or vice president. All right, so, all right, anything more about the debt? Biden's like this. It's taken care of. I do get the feeling that 3 days will be when he does it. or something will happen in 3 days that will seal the deal. It might be that they will wind up, well, that's us. Spirit, will they wind up taking the deal? They wind up finding some agreement? I'm saying no. I'm seeing Kevin McCarthy looking at me saying, he's very frustrated. I think Biden might have to pull out the amendment, and it will be very good for the Dems and him. Yeah, it'll be really good for him. Let's take a look at the other question, which is Fani Willis. It looks like they're starting to look like there's lots of security moves and stuff that they're going to issue some indictments. And it's significant because Fani Willis is there at the top of the pyramid, and she's kind of making a circle at the pyramid. So it's like the highest point. So, maybe I got confused. Is this Fani or is this the Jack indictments? I mean, Jack Smith's indictments. So, Spirit, which one is it? Fani? Yeah, Fani's nodding. Okay, Fani. So, you tell me, girl, what's going on? She's holding her arms up like this. And it's almost like, bring it on, bring it on. I got the power. She's showing me some legal papers. And they're really thick. They're like this thick, right? So it's full of legalese. She's kind of rolling her eyes like these are hard to understand. But if you look at them, they're very clear points. Maybe 6 or 7 very clear points. I don't know if those are indictments. Are those indictments? She's like, no, they're kind of within the indictments. There are these points. I get the number 17, maybe 19. That could be the number of indictments or perhaps people that are indicted. Something's important about 17 to 19. What else is it going to be? So this is important in the sense it's really going to rock his world. So, Trump really didn't show up for his own, case about sexual violence. He didn't even bother because he just doesn't really care, the people who support him don't care if he's convicted of that. So, yeah, it would have been better if he'd taken care of it, but he can't be bothered anyway. So, but this is really, it's like a tornado is getting close to Mar-A-Lago. Oh, the tornado is coming close enough to cause damage to his building. One wing of Mar-A-Lago is looking like it's destroyed. It's total chaos. It's absolute chaos. I don't think this is literal. I don't think a tornado will hit Mar-A-Lago, but this is his home. And I think half of the home is being very much disrupted. And the disruption has something to do with his lawyers. They're just like collapsing. I just see these lawyers just literally collapsing. It's like they don't want anything to do with this case anymore. Those of them that still wanted to do with this case are attacking each other because they're starting to have regrets, and they're pretty low people anyway. And by low, I mean morally and ethically low. I also mean low, just not very important lawyers or wise lawyers. It's not just the lawyers that are fighting. His family is fighting. They're getting very concerned. And he's always been able to keep the wolves at bay, but it doesn't look like that now. The wolves are circling. Now here's Fani, and she looks like she could use a long diamond stick for a toothpick. She's just like, yeah, don't worry about me, man. That's just like her full-on attitude. She's good at this. She's enjoying this, and she's glad to show us her powers. She feels righteous, and she feels like she's going to do it, and she knows what she's going to do. And she's not afraid of Donald Trump. Yeah, she's filing her nails. Filing nails. And the more she files her nails, the more she is calm and straightforward, the more Trump goes crazy. And either I'm seeing him in jail, either he feels jail, he's afraid of jail, or he will go there. Let's see, is he right now? Is he just afraid? That's a funny image. So let's ask this. Will Trump go to jail soon? I see him. He does look like he is cuffed. And as he is cuffed, there is he kind of going through a door cuffed, and man, is he hopping mad. And keep in mind, whenever you make Trump mad, he makes mistakes. So a lot of times he's mad and people think it's wonderful. But this situation, when he gets angry, he talks too much. And that's just what's happening. He's like mouthing off to the judge. He does things which are bad for him, that are unhealthy. I see, like a heroin needle. So it's his addiction. He's addicted to mouthing off. And this judge is not having it. I think even at this arraignment, he's behaving in such a way that the judge is getting angry. I think the judge might do something fairly dramatic, or a judge might do something fairly dramatic. The judge is showing me, like, here's a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper it says jail. So is the judge threatening jail, or is he going to put him in jail? Yeah, I wonder if the judge might say you got to go to jail for a couple of days, or something of that nature. It might not happen immediately. It might be like, don't talk about this, or I'm going to send you to jail. And if you do talk about this, I will definitely do that. And he doesn't believe the judge, and he does it, and the judge puts him in jail. It's funny because it's just a regular county jail. But of course, standing outside of the jail are secret security, making sure that he's safe. And they're like these men in black. It's very funny because, of course, their secret security is pretty conservative, but they're standing next to him and they're just like, oh God, this guy's such a jerk. I'm so sick of listening to him. Like, I wish I could punch him in the face and tell him to knock it off. Like, he's disparaging people that they know and work with, disparaging other people who they respect, and nothing about his behavior is at all, conservative. They look at me and these social secret service guys go, he's like a mongrel dog. You gotta just throw him in jail and ignore him. And again, these guys, these are taking notes. These guys who are his security detail, some of them are actually there to make sure that he doesn't do crazy stuff. That is, they make sure that he won't, sell the national secrets to some foreign country. And one guy in particular has been sent to watch him specifically. Makes sense, right? Wouldn't you send someone to watch him? And knows a lot and has been taking notes a lot. This fellow may be a witness against Trump already. And I mean, really, Trump did all that stuff in Mar-A-Lago with witnesses all over the place. So it's just his belief in himself that makes him do these, crazy things. Trump is smoking a cigarette in jail. And he puts out a cigarette. And I have a feeling it's like the light goes out for Trump. Something occurs which just diminishes him to such a degree. Perhaps the humiliation of the cuffs and being put or threatened with jail. But something seems to almost break him. Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like a reading, don't hesitate to check out my website. I do a variety of things like readings. And for those of you who gave me money for Patreon, please forgive me for not saying thank you. I really do appreciate those donations. They do make a lot of difference. Forgive me for not saying so earlier. You guys are always in my hearts. Thanks so much for watching.